And we're gonna roll in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to this episode of Away with Royce, the podcast. It's your girl, Bree Stories.
It's A Tati.
And it's MJM Kid.
Hello. Look at us with 2 episodes in a row.
Congrats to y'all.
Never thought you'd see it. No, but we are here. Thank you so much for anyone who pressed us on that and anyone who didn't and is still here to listen and see. Thank you for that. As far as church announcements, I always say church announcements because I don't know what else to say, but I'm not a church goer. So let's just be clear about that. But
Me neither.
I do just like the term church announcements because it's something that I'm familiar with and I don't know what else to say.
But those are very important to the church goers.
I know. I don't know what else to say to describe, the beginning announcements of a thing, but whatever. Please make sure that you are making yourself the newsletter recipients on yaymash.com. As I keep saying, me and Tati do our good writing there, our good vulnerable expression of words, and it's super good. If I do say so myself, the last written piece that Tati has put on the site is, I had to tell her, because, I just be putting them up, but I had to tell her, this is gorgeously written. It was just so good. So make sure that you do not miss out on those things on her writings or on mine, and make sure that you are making yourself a newsletter just in case we drop a little something, on the surprise prize. You never know. So make sure that you are a part of the sitch, and we'll take care of you there. Yeah, make sure that you go ahead and, I was going to say the same thing again. That's not what I meant. Let's break some ice. Wood. How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood?
Would you rather look like a fish or smell like a fish?
Ooh. I feel like I would rather look like a fish because if you know a Pisces woman, they look like fish. They have fish features, yes. But they be so pretty.
I don't think I know a Pisces woman.
Erykah Badu,
Rihanna,
Jhené Aiko, Rihanna, Pisces woman.
Oh, there was a fish in that video.
The 3 that I'm thinking of, yeah, they have fish features, but they be so pretty. So I think I would rather look like a fish than smell like a fish for sure. Oh, click.
Yeah.
absolutely. So fishes mean, I don't know. I feel like I see smaller noses when I think about a fish.
I don't know.
I'm just seeing a pointed,
Pointed?
like a face being like this or something.
Okay.
That's what I'm seeing.
I'd rather look like a fish than smell like a fish.
What was
Yeah.
the question?
Because I know
look
girls
like a
that
fish
look like
or
fish
smell
and be
like
cute.
a fish.
Oh, probably look for sure.
Yeah.
It's definitely
Smell my
look.
community, you getting
Smell is
dogged.
Because I think people date, even if you looking like a fish equates to you being unattractive, people date unattractive people all the time.
All the time. But smelly,
quote unquote unattractive,
yeah,
I'll say.
smelly is crazy.
But smelly people,
No matter how you about
You will never
it.
get past it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
There was this person on the radio this morning, because y'all know I love that. They called in saying that he had met this girl and she was so fine, he was so blown away by her beauty and was just so thankful that a girl that looked like her would even talk to him. And on one of their dates, he noticed there's a smell here, a weird kind of faint smell, and he was just And then I don't know if she peeped him peeping, I don't know, but she ended up coming saying on her own one day to him I have a condition where I always kind of have a smell, and there's no amount of showers, no amount of perfume, soap, whatever. It's just who she is. Wow. And he was so
how does she
what
find
do I
that
do?
condition?
How does she what?
Find out that was a condition.
I guess when she never stopped
Stinky.
just having a smell.
Oh,
yeah.
so like you saying she didn't go to like a specialist or anything?
I mean, I don't know.
No,
But
she had to
She
have
had
to
to have to
know,
know
yeah.
she's the condition. I'm assuming.
I need to
Yeah.
know the name of that.
What the condition is?
Yeah, because I know people.
Oh,
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
goodness.
Yeah, but it was literally like, and I was like, that's so sad for her.
Did he stay with her?
Well, I don't know. He was asking, what should he do?
Oh, goodness.
You know, it was that love him
Stay
or leave him
with
segment.
her.
So like one
But
person
is it a,
was
if it,
like,
is it a smell that really bothers you, or is it just something that's just like, oh, she just always kind of smell like corn chips?
that would bother me.
That would
But
suck.
he didn't say
So
like
it's not like a pheromone thing.
yeah, like he didn't say
Ah.
like gross garbage, like smells like
She
like
smells
your toes,
the
like-
worst.
yeah,
Yeah.
like he just said has a smell.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
I wonder what part of the body
it
that's
depends.
coming just from
it
the
depends
pores.
on what you're into.
somebody that called in had said she needs to go see like another kind of specialist, and that there are people that have this condition and they have to somehow get like their skin or something like
Samples, yeah.
lasered because
That
the
makes
scent
sense. That makes
is
sense.
in their skin.
Yeah.
It's their skin that's like giving the scent, and it's
Oh,
some type of
lasered is
procedure
crazy.
that would like laser
Oh,
their whole body.
Oh, that makes kind of sense.
and,
I know
like,
somebody who
make
I
the
went to
scent.
but
elementary
how much
school
does
with.
that cost?
I don't even know.
Oh no.
I went to somebody with a gentleman in elementary school. We were in school for like at least 3rd through 8th,
Yeah.
and there was a scent just to him in general, and I feel like he wasn't somebody that got like teased for not bathing or nothing. I feel like
Yeah.
he just had a scent.
Yeah.
But he was clean. You
Yeah.
knew that he was a clean guy. He showered. He used deodorant.
Mm-hmm. And
And
I can still smell it just talking about him.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
That's
deep.
rough.
That's
deep.
crazy, actually, that you say that.
Yeah, because I don't want to do that.
Yeah. I don't
It's almost like
know.
it was like for him it was like a smoke, like a little bit of barbecue, but he was white. Not to say that they don't barbecue, but it was like a super smoked.
but he was white.
It was like a
you
black.
Y'all don't even be barbecuing like that to be smelling like
No,
that.
they
No,
didn't.
like barbecue.
No.
But he was white.
It was he was like a black barbecue, to describe it the best way I can. Smell like a black barbecue, but he was like, he was actually a ginger. Not to say nothing that they
What
don't
was
barbecue.
his name? Oh, you said since 8.
No,
No, because
What was his name?
Because the boy you say, I feel like I know that same
Matthew.
boy.
It was say he was white though.
And he had red
He was
hair.
Irish.
He went to your
He had
grammar
freckles.
school?
Freckles.
Did he go
covering
to?
his face.
Did
He
he
went
go to
to your
Central
grammar
after
school?
He went
middle
to
school?
he went to Cedar
Do you know what
Prairie.
high school he went to after that?
I don't.
I'm about to say, because if you went to Central, that might be the same boy.
Well, I think I know who you're talking about. I don't think that's him.
I don't know.
Does
about
that
a white
name
boy.
start with a K? No. He did go to my school though. I know what you're talking about.
I do
Don't
not
do
know
that.
these
I
white
know.
people.
I know you don't. I know you don't.
Oh my God!
It's not. But he did go to my school. He went to my school. He did. The one I'm talking about starts with a J, but you would not guess it. No,
I
you
know
would
2
not.
white people. And that's
I'm
But he is also a redhead. You're right.
Oh.
I know everybody.
It's
not him. It's not him. It's not him.
Did
It's
your
not
guy
him.
have a smell?
I can't remember, but I just know he was around hella
You were
black
just
people.
picking a white
No,
person.
because you're saying
I
that
think he went.
like,
The guy that you're talking about went to my school in
you
7th
talking about
grade.
like black barbecue. I'm like, maybe that was
No,
him.
no.
That's funny.
He actually
as hell.
dated
Why would
the
you
girl I
say
liked
the
in
letter
5th grade. And I can say the next letter is E. I know what you're talking about.
Shout out to him.
Let's move on. No, because I just saw a picture of him and his kids today.
Oh, I knew it was gonna be with an S. I knew it was kids.
Her white boy? You saw her white boy?
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a white boy.
Well, the white boy
went to
that
my
went to
school.
your school.
The one that,
Yeah,
the one
I
that
was like-
she's talking about, yes.
Right.
That shit is hilarious. Oh, shout out to him. I hope he all right.
He is.
And
No,
his
he's.
children.
They went to a game.
Period.
They went to a game.
A sports
so we
game.
know they're fine.
A sports game. Him and
They
his.
went to a
Him
game.
and his boys.
Okay, boys.
Yeah. Anyway,
That's
right.
so funny. What are we talking about?
y'all are
Time
crazy.
to check in.
Time to check in.
That was breaking
Tati, you should go.
ice.
Go ahead and go.
Go ahead and go.
Physically, I am feeling.
What took Chris here? That you gonna know.
I know, right? I'm okay. I'm sorry. You're right. Go ahead.
Physically, my mouth is dry. I would enjoy some juice.
Would
Or
that
like
quench your
a-
thirst though? I
Some
never
juice.
Or some
understood.
mousse.
I think that
People can drink
because
juice.
I drink water so much and only water that sometimes my mouth gets dry and it's like water doesn't. It's like I need a flavor. I need to have like some type of flavor, which is why kind of in a lot of cases in like my more recent years, why you always catch me with candy or why I always have candy
Yeah,
in my
candy
purse.
makes sense, but juice is crazy. To
Well,
quench your thirst, it's
No,
wild.
to undry my not. I'm not thinking of it in the literal sense of like quenching my thirst, but
Okay.
to undry my mouth. Like I'm needing a flavor,
Oh.
needing to taste a flavor,
Something
an
in your mouth.
actual
Yeah.
strawberry, watermelon, something you
Yeah.
know that's just not like a bland palate. Like
Okay.
needing
Yeah.
something to change your palate, and that's what I need right now. Emotionally.
Emotionally.
I don't know.
Emotionally, I kind of feel sad. I think it's because I'm drunk though.
Damn.
Oh damn!
not
I was,
even
about to, I was
drunk.
about to go there too. Honestly,
What?
good luck.
The alcohol is supposed to make us up happy.
I was.
I mean, like no, like
This is
I'm
when I think
happy.
about when I think about it.
Yeah, like I think
I left it all on the floor over there. I told you all the stuff I was going through.
I think
Don't let it over there.
liquor.
No, just-
Because also, I'm also not a person. I don't drink a lot, so I am not a person that if I'm not with these people in this room. Or like my man or something like I'm more likely not drinking, you know.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah,
like
for sure.
I'm not like a in between time kind of drinker. So I think
Oh.
liquor, you know, it really does amplify
Exacerbate, yeah, all the
thoughts or
things.
something.
Same
so,
for me, babe. Same for
For
me.
sure. So I think I'm feeling like a little.
It makes me amplify how much I
I'm
want to
sad. That
like,
makes
how
me
high I want to knock Aja No Asia out.
Oh!
So if you're seeing this, babe, you know where I
Not so if you're
stay.
seeing this, babe. I hate
You know where I stay. Come on.
You know where I
know
stay.
where
I
I
want to fight you,
stay.
baby. I want
So
to fight you.
you sound like Jocelyn. She said, "Cause you know where you can kiss it."
Okay.
can't
Oh, you
with
said
the
spiritually
girls.
already?
No, that was
Huh?
emotional.
Oh, I'm so
That was
sorry.
emotional. My attention is on
Ooh.
um
Yeah.
I don't know, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Cause like the immediate, I guess my attention is on. I'm excited for the summer,
Right.
but I'm also excited for like like the time of my life that's gonna follow the summer. So it's like I'm very kind of just like I'm antsy for this time off and for this break, but then I'm also antsy to like get back
Get
to
that
it
over with,
in
yeah.
a sense. So
Go ahead.
I'm just ready for my attention is on transition. And then spiritually, I think it's a good word for that too. Like spiritually, I feel like I'm in a transition.
Absolutely.
Love to hear that. Physically, I'm hungry. Emotionally, emotionally, I feel. Honestly, alcohol is a doozy. It's
Can you
good.
stop?
No, for real. I was like,
I think it is
when
a
I called you
doozy.
that day, and I worked from home,
Oh, yes.
like decidedly. I just was like, I'm working from home today, and then I started drinking at like 3:00. I had my first cocktail, and after that first cocktail, I was like, why don't people just get a little drunk? You know,
Just a little.
like every time, like all the time, just
a
get
little bit at work.
drunk.
At your corporate office.
Just get a little bit drunk, you know. I was like, this feels so much better than how I've been feeling, which is really sad because that's really a testament to like you've been going through it. Huh? Like I was like, this is so much better. Why haven't I just been getting a little drunk every day? So emotionally, I feel like I'm a little bit more than a little bit drunk, but I was feeling like, and I keep saying the same thing. Honestly, the past 2-3 weeks have
Right.
been so stupid. But my therapist reminded me last week, which shout out to me having like, I didn't know this. I feel like over the years I got witchier. Like I got more like into like spiritual stuff, tarot. And,
Absolutely.
but like I've been going to the same therapist for 6 years. I didn't know at year 1 that me and her were gonna be here with this. When I told my therapist last week, I was like, I'm just tired of feeling like this. I was like, I'm just so sick of having anxiety, and I'm so sick of like being like a slave to my anxiety and just like da da da. And my therapist was like, I just want to remind you that we manifested this. Her saying those words, I was like, oh.
That you manifested the
The
sadness?
way I was feeling. Yeah. She was like, I want to remind you at the end of last year when we talked about our goals for this year, you said that you wanted to have a deeper understanding to what triggers your anxiety and you wanted to have a better relationship with emotions like anger. She read this off of a piece of paper, so I know I said it.
Okay.
And she was like, and I want you to know you would not be having this experience. Like, you would not do those things without having this experience. Like,
Right.
yeah, you're tired of feeling it, but it's because you're feeling it.
Right.
And without feeling it, you wouldn't understand it the way that you said you wanted to understand it.
Right.
And I was like, oh, God. And, like, for a second, that felt good. It felt like,
But then it's like the reality hit of it, like,
yeah. For a second, I was like, it felt,
Yeah.
for a second, it just felt good to feel like, okay, it's happening for a reason. You know, for a second it felt like that, but then in the midst of it, I'm just like, I'm still tired. I'm over it. I don't want to do this no more. Give me the medication. I'm like, give me the prescription, girl.
No, we can't.
Nah, we can't.
I think you
I'm
got
sorry.
it. I
We
think
might.
you got it.
We might. But yeah. So you know, what's that? My intention is currently on spiritually. I don't know. All of those things. Let's just cap it
Yeah.
there.
Okay. Congrats to you. Physically, I'm starting to get sore because I had a really good leg day
Ooh.
today, and I love a good leg day. I get my most calories on my watch when I have leg days, so my heart be beating.
Really?
Because these calves, these quads, these tries,
Those buns.
and the buns, these aren't called tries. What are these called?
Yeah, I don't know what they're called.
God
I'm
damn
not
it.
good at that.
Legs.
Let me not
Thighs.
lie. Let me not say a lie.
Thigh muscles.
Yeah, thigh muscles.
All the thigh muscles.
do a hip
Emotionally,
workout, so that's crazy.
emotionally, I am. I'm grieving. It's not a person, just so everybody
Yeah.
knows. I
But
want.
that's so real, though. Grief is, yes.
It's okay though. There are things to come.
Why would you not?
Leave.
Not ever said. That's too much. That's a little
Stay.
too much.
You don't have to stay. No, she don't gotta stay. She don't gotta leave.
No, you can stay.
You can sit right there.
No, you're fine.
No, we've been doing this for 8 years.
I appreciate her having our back like that.
Come sit right here. Sit right
Yeah.
here. I don't care. Well,
You know, it's not too explicit.
yeah, you were fine.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know what we're talking
sit
about.
right
I was like, I don't know
too.
what we're talking about.
Well, my intention is on. I have a birthday coming up, huh?
Yes.
June 27th.
We're
I
gonna
don't
everyday
know.
people. on
Everyday
the
People is the
30th.
party
Yeah.
on
Give me a ticket, guys.
June 30th.
get you
We're gonna do
one.
that.
That's a Sunday.
You will not like that. It's a very young party.
Not you
not.
would not like that.
No, she wouldn't like it. I don't have anything planned on the actual day.
love that.
I don't have nothing planned.
I'll be here.
I don't have to work. So
I'll be here.
my actual birthday is on Thursday.
That's a Thursday. Yeah.
Starts the weekend, so we can
Yeah. I'll work from home. I'll work from your house.
You can work from my house. Yeah, you
Yes.
can.
Your house.
You can work from my
Oh, that'll
house.
be fun. And you'll be off.
And
Saturday.
spiritually, I'm all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so as some of the people in this room know, we didn't really put it on blast because I did that intentionally because I'm very kooky, you know? Y'all saw me having a moment with a fellow air sign with the kooky stuff. And this kind of goes in line with that, but I'm not trying to like really go all the way left with it. So we'll just start from the source. We were watching a program called The Never Ever Mets.
Right.
Oh,
Did you
I
watch
watched.
it? No.
I watched like half of the first
I
episode.
think it's how
Okay.
far most of us have gone.
Excellent.
That's good.
I watched the first episode. I ended it pissed. And I was like, okay, literally breath work. Like, all right, I'm going to watch this next episode.
Right.
Watch the second episode. After the second episode, I was like, I can't watch this. I can't take anymore. And
I wish
it-
you'd have went to that third one though. The Never Ever
it
Mets on
left
HBO Max.
it left me with the question that I want us to
wasn't
talk about
great.
today.
Okay, what's the question?
The question is, I just started to think about people because at first my first thought was like young people, but then I was like, there are people that aren't even young. There are people our age and above who just don't have a certain sense of experience and stuff. And I want to know from the production standpoint, what is the takeaway what is their objective? What do they want us to take away from these dating and love shows? Because I walked into this after our whole Love is Blind thing, after Married at First Sight. At a certain point, I finally just stopped and said, what is it that, like, if I am brand new to this, if I'm 13 years old, and I'm in my young romance phase, book-wise, like me and Tati used to be, before we had all of this stuff.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm reading the fantasy stuff, and then I see stuff on TV that kind of aligns. Like, oh, it's about love, it's about dating. And so I tune into that. What is it that they want me to take away? Like, what do they want me to think and feel about love and dating? What do you think?
That show is a very bad example.
But it's an extreme example. But
It's an extreme one.
My question is, the rest of them, are they not? Not extreme, maybe.
Not extreme.
But not good.
Extreme is bad.
It's not walking away feeling like, because here's the thing, and I honestly, I'm not here to like praise fantasy either, because I just had a conversation with my man about how my whole thought process about love was skewed, and that was from like fairy tales and young romance novels. I thought that love was supposed to be all consuming. Like, I'm supposed to be obsessed with you. I can't breathe without you. And if I don't feel that way, then you're not worth my time. Like, I would go on 2 dates, and it's like, yeah, you cool. But, like, if I'm like, oh, my God, if I look around and be like, why am I not thinking about him? Why am I not? Then I make that mean that he's not good enough. Because I was used to Twilight.
Right.
I was used to, you meet a person and you just lock in, you look in their eyes, and it's just like, oh my God, I can't think of anybody else. You know, that's what I thought love was. However, did that steer me so wrong? It steered me wrong. But did it steer me so wrong? I don't know. But when I think about being that age, the age that I was when I first saw Twilight, when I first started reading my love stories, and if at that age I saw The Never Ever Mets,
Oh, that would have been bad.
or Love is Blind, or Married at First Sight, what am I supposed to take away from that? So that's probing me.
I feel like the whole point of these dating shows is to show you that no matter how far-fetched the idea may be, that it is quote-unquote possible. There is always a story somewhere. Now, when it comes to The Never Ever Mets, I have no idea. So I don't know how
Jesus
that story
Christ.
played out. I don't know if any of those couples
We didn't finish
actually
yet.
ended up really lasting or whatever. But if you look at all the other dating type shows,
Love is
there is
Blind.
always
Yeah.
at least one.
Somebody.
There is always at least one, and it kind of correlates to me. I actually just got up the nerve to start watching like Sex and the City again
Oh, yeah.
on Netflix, the original, because I didn't want nothing to do with that whole
Which is-
Tati, please.
universe. As much as I love,
she
love
did.
Sex and
But
the
she
City.
didn't like.
She liked the,
I
the
hated
current
the
stuff.
reboot.
She didn't
the current
like.
stuff.
I completely disliked the
I
reboot, and
loved
it tainted.
They did a great job.
I like
was
it too.
Excellent.
I do like it.
It
was
tainted
excellent.
my ability to appreciate the original because it kind of like debunked to me whatever was happening like previously.
Right.
So I didn't want nothing to
Yeah.
do with it. However, I
Not to
started
me though,
watching
because
it
I know
again.
people who have had that situation.
I started watching, not even just one or situation though in particular. I mean like a lot of them in the show. But I started watching it again, and it just so happens that like the last episode I left off on was when the girls were talking about how you always hear this story of a girl that knows a girl that knows
Yep.
a girl who had this
love.
man that like came in
Had
the
the love
rain and
story.
pronounced his love to her after she
Yeah.
moved across the country and said they were done. And there's
Yeah.
women, we hold on to these like
Yes, it could be me.
seemingly impossible or unrealistic versions of love.
Yeah.
And these reality shows are there to show us that it is possible.
always one.
Like this far-fetched idea that
Yeah.
everybody else may be telling you, you need to let that go, girl. You need to move on. You need to be more realistic. And then you can turn
Yeah.
on Love is Blind and be like, Because look at Lauren and Cameron. You know, so it gives us
Yeah.
something
Right.
to hold on to instead of reality. You know, and it's like, and I've said it like, because some of those love stories, they are real. And it is
They are
like,
their
you know,
reality.
a
Yeah.
long lasting, you know, the two couples that got married in that first season, they are still married.
Yeah.
You know, so it's not to say that like it can't happen,
Mm-hmm.
but it allows women mostly, more so than men, to just live in those fantasies
Right.
and not really have to navigate the real world, because we can just say like, oh no.
'Cause
I'm
I could
waiting
be the
for
exception to the rule.
Yeah, like I'm waiting for my knight in shining armor. I'm waiting for
Yeah.
that man that's gonna hold that boom box
And do the thing.
over his head, you know. So that's
Yeah.
what I think it's for, to play off of those every girl's little girl fantasy.
So it's exploitative.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
think so,
of
too.
What do you
emotions
think?
for sure.
The concept of that show just
The
makes
never
me
ever
Never
met
ever met.
specifically.
never met. Yeah,
Because
specifically.
baby, let's talk
it
a
just
little
cringe.
bit about
It just cringes me.
What the fuck was
What kind of
that?
person you have to be to like feel like you're so invested in somebody that you haven't seen,
What's
No, well, let's talk about
happening?
and that you know?
Catfish. Been on for years,
But I know,
so.
I know.
That's
but,
true.
No, but the examples
this
in the
puts
first
it in, like, a
episode,
very
they were doing
different-
FaceTimes.
They were talking. Yeah, they
were-
That's true.
They were showing people. They were showing them conversations while they were like
That's true.
different parts of this on the nation, like having face conversation. It's like, why wouldn't I come and see you in
Some
the next
of them
2,
were
3
in the
months?
same city.
That drives me insane.
The
What is wrong
same-
with y'all?
8-10 months or whatever. Same
So that's
city.
why I feel like production comes
I'm like,
into it a little bit. Like
y'all
that
are
makes me a
weird.
little nervous.
Y'all are being weird.
I wholeheartedly believe that those are all true circumstance.
13 years, 12 years.
13 years. Is
I can see it.
crazy.
Tati, and they were
I can see people
older.
doing it.
Yeah, Tati-
Not that makes
And they had the most
sense.
chemistry out of everybody. As far here's the thing.
You better.
I did not. I watched that first episode and I immediately was like, "This sucks. I don't want to see this." And I was like, "You know what?" I told Michael to watch it.
I told
And I
Tati to
watched
watch
that
the first
second
episode
episode,
because we knew
And
somebody
I-
on the first
I
episode.
tried.
Right. And I watched that second episode to make sure
Right.
that they did right by that situation.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Because
for sure.
I was like, if they
yeah, they have to go.
just treat that as like a little kiki and like,
No,
ugh, that
don't
was
do
a
it.
weird first night, but here
It's
we
not.
go.
No, it's
I
not.
was going to write a letter.
Yeah, like that's bad.
But I was like glad to see that they went about that the way that they should have gone about that, because what the fuck?
Yeah, for
And
sure.
then I watched the entirety of the rest of that episode. And what's her name? New York.
Yep, Sanaya.
Out of fucking nowhere, just calls this man a bitch. I said, I don't know what's happening.
It gets
I
worse.
said, I don't know what's happening, and I don't want to.
It got worse.
And I don't want to know.
I just know.
As far as I know them old niggas was sucking toes.
I just know from my
can't take it
years
no more.
of watching Catfish
Can't take it.
and seeing these stories, and we see people on Catfish that are madly in love with people they've never seen.
Yeah.
Never
So I
People are
know
wild.
it's definitely possible that people are falling in love with people
Yeah,
they
That
that's
know
true.
are
do be
real.
seeing, yeah.
Like
That's true.
I'm FaceTiming you, so I know for a fact you look how you
My only
look.
problem is
Like,
you know they're real, so why not see them? That's my thing.
I mean, but
What's stopping
I
you?
know money. I know money be a thing.
money.
But the people who lived in the same city, I was like, in all these months, y'all really could have figured
And
that
those
out.
two people who I know who you're talking about in that
Yeah.
state, I've been on both sides of those places, and
Yeah. It's not that serious.
I wasn't dating nobody. Oh,
The one,
you can make it there. It's
the
the
one
point.
But they also haven't been dating that long.
Right.
They were like one of the shortest
months?
dating. But
Oh,
that's
3
not
months.
when
3
it
months.
comes. When it comes
No.
to
I'm
about to say,
social media,
3 months. I don't need.
No.
I don't think
Yeah,
that's
if
that
I
long.
meet you on social media, I don't need to see you in the span of 3 months.
yeah, like I don't think that's
No.
that
I
long.
get that.
I think
I
that's
get that. I get
bullshit.
that. I do
I
get
think
that.
that's bullshit.
I do get that because, like,
That's
I don't need to
bullshit.
see. If I met you, it's one thing. I don't know.
Now, if we have
Something
some
about-
crazy connection and we just head over heels, then sure, I'm looking for
And it
you.
wasn't given that.
But
To be fair,
if
it wasn't
we are
given that.
just
You
flirty
think so?
friends,
Shorty ass.
if we are just flirty friends,
Okay, so
that
let's
can
talk
last
about it. Let's talk
forever.
about it. I didn't watch the rest of it. There was another young woman on there that was from Chicago
Yes.
who was dating a young man.
He's
And he's
And
exactly
he's-
fill in the blank.
yeah.
And that's what made me start feeling like, okay, what's production up to? Because that felt like, how did you get to this point that you didn't see that this was this man's personality?
For date
It's-
1,
it's-
episode 1.
It's giving a thing. And if you
That's not
didn't see
everything
that,
that I want.
if you didn't see that through fucking FaceTime, because that's the thing too. Because like I
It's
feel
like, where are the actors? Because y'all booking them.
I feel like there's a thing about
Tati.
there's a thing about like Chicago women that I feel like
Ugh.
I also
I don't like how they portrayed on camera.
no, but I do think that there's a thing about a Chicago woman's attitude that I feel like we also feel into, which is like we don't like lame shit or lame niggas, and we can see through it when you're not being your fucking self. So you're telling me that this
For
was
sure.
your first time experiencing his personality in this way? I don't know.
I believe it.
He can't
don't
open
know.
a wine bottle.
Them fucking earrings. He went from having 2 in the confessional to having just 1. That was not your first time seeing that. Baby,
Production, babe.
Baby.
Let's talk about
baby,
it.
2-3 FaceTimes. I'm either speaking on it or you're not seeing me in
I'm
person.
exposing production.
I
They
believe
knew
You're
that.
not gonna see me in person.
That
They knew
people
it.
can.
Tati, what can they do?
I feel like it's a
Shapeshift.
combination of
Shapeshift.
people. Yes, like I
Be
believe it's
different.
a combination of that people have the ability to show you what they want you to see, and then depending on how invested or not invested you are, you see what you want to see. You know, it's kind of like if you're not
Yes, I
when you're
understand
not
that.
looking for problems and you're kind of just open, when you really go into something completely open and completely like not skeptical and not judgmental, you don't see things.
How often
the
does
same
that
way.
happen
Let me
on
just
television?
say-
But it
Can I-
happens
can I
if
just
these
be
scenarios
kooky?
are true. I'm saying it happens.
Oh, and just in
via
on the outside
social
world.
media.
Let me-
It
Yeah,
happens
Let me-
via
let me
there's
be-
nothing at stake
Right.
here.
That's not.
Yeah, like I don't have anything to lose here, so I can just blindly trust
Okay.
you.
Let me
Okay.
just be kooky for a second, as a person, as just like a consumer, right? And I have an episode cooking. I don't know if we're ever gonna do it because I really, really care about how it comes out. But we're in the age of Aquarius. If you know anything about that, anything that is false or falsified is null and void. You cannot do it anymore, right? So I feel like we're in an age in reality television even where things don't go like if you think about New York, if you think about Tiffany New York Pollard, I'm not saying she was
A
faking.
gem.
I'm not saying she was faking anyway.
I'm saying she's a gem.
But
Yeah.
she came out a certain way, and we didn't really know what her objective was until later. It was just like, oh, this is a fucking loudmouth bitch. She just do what the fuck she want to do. And then you found out that her motives were like a little bit different. Like she was a little kooky. You didn't find that out until later. It was, at first face value, it was just like, oh,
Like,
this
damn, you
woman,
doing the most.
she just do what the fuck. You know what I mean? There's no more space in between that and that anymore.
That's not. You're right.
It comes out right away because of the space that we're in astrologically, is
Right.
my belief. And so that nigga literally came on the screen and it was like, now why are you here? Who are you here for and for what reason? And then it just continued to get worse and worse as the fucking episodes progress, as that first episode progressed. Because I don't really remember seeing too much of them in the second episode. Because the second episode was
A hell
Jam-packed.
of a lot. Yeah,
I don't
for
remember
sure.
a lot of them in the first episode.
jam-packed with the fucking shit that happened from the end of the first episode.
That's too much.
I
I'm just
could
saying. Oh, you never mind.
not
It's bad.
I really could not. I could not get
I
myself
think they find
to do it.
I think that process of finding people for these shows is extremely extensive because they want them to fit a certain like demographic and
What's up with Chicago
entertainment.
right now?
Would-
Because I'm not a regular of the.
you mean Chicago? How? In what way?
I'm not a regular of the Zeus or the what's the other one? Now that's what you call TV.
No,
I
that's
watch
TV.
that when I'm with y'all on Sundays.
Yes.
But the last thing that I watched with y'all, it was a lot of Chicago boys on that boy show.
Yeah, because
I feel like Chicago, like what's going on with Chicago? Because they had 2 Chicagos on Never Ever Mets.
I think Chicago.
I feel like that just be rare unless it's a place is like stationed in the place. It don't be like a whole lot of like.
Me personally, I feel like Chicago was tired of not being on the scene.
You think they're just like all over?
I feel like we have so
everything
many
now, every
personalities. I feel like we have so many personalities, and we don't. Chicago's
feel
not a
like
place
it's just-
where we have entertainment, so we have to go other places where they are going to showcase.
It's just annoying because every
We
time
don't
I
ha-
hear
we don't
somebody
host
say
that
Chicago,
stuff.
I be like, okay, I be perched looking for them to represent us well, and then it be crazy.
Imagine we had hella production, hella shows, hella reality shows going on in the city all the time. We don't.
You don't.
So they trying to figure out
And
like
and
where we
probably
have to
because
go
we
to get on these
shouldn't.
shows. We should. It's an easy
But we be
market.
having a lot of television shows,
I
not a
don't
lot
know
of
if we
reality
shouldn't.
shows.
we have. It's, yeah,
but see, I
reality
don't know
shows
if we
is a,
shouldn't.
Yeah,
I
we
know
don't
if
have
should, but
reality
like the
TV.
boys that are. What's the name of that show, Michael? Is that now what? That's what I call TV. What's called TV? What is it? What is
I
it,
don't know.
TV?
I don't watch.
I know. Wait, give me 1
Zeus.
second.
Not Zeus.
Hot Boys. Is it Hot
Hot-
Boys?
it's
Bad
Hottie-
Boys. Bad Boys.
Bad. that
Bad
don't
Boys,
sound
New
right.
Orleans. It's something like that.
It's one of those things.
They're in New Orleans, though.
It's either hot. It's one of those adjacent.
They
things.
all know. Y'all
But
know.
that we watched the first. You know when they come and
Everybody's greeting.
first of all, I don't.
So many fights.
I don't understand the format of that. Why are we watching the boys come sign their contracts for the show?
Because they're.
And on the contract signing, they end up fighting people. I don't get it. But there were it was at least
seen
3
these things.
boys that were like, I'm from Chicago.
It is. No, they're still there.
And I'm just like, okay,
Well.
you know, I try to be like, and even before that, when the one other time I saw one of those shows, it was like a baddie show or something on Zeus, and it was that light skinned girl from Chicago.
The girls
She
I
was-
won't remember.
She said she was on shrooms and Casamigos and some
Oh,
other. She said she
yes.
was on a bunch of shit. She was
Yeah,
fighting
yeah.
every
She
bitch
was
in the
fighting-
house.
Yeah, yeah. Tyrone, I'll have to have Tyrone next to me. But
Yeah.
yes, I remember who you're talking about.
But like, I feel like there's a something happening in
Do
Chicago
they be like a
where
lot different from the other people on the show?
They usually a
Or
little
do
more
they vibes
aggressive,
still
I
be the
guess.
same?
I can't tell. I
but
really
we
can't.
just noticed them because
I
they're from
honestly
Chicago.
no. They say
decide-
I'm from
I feel like
Chicago.
Chicago-
No, I know. I'm saying
No, I can't tell because they're all fucking fighting. I can't tell
Right.
everybody's vibe or
Most
attitude.
people
are
I don't
getting
know.
they're getting
just
produced.
fucking all
Right. So
chaos.
I
They're
don't
getting
think there
produced.
I think that.
But I feel like I keep hearing that everybody's like, "Oh, I'm from Chicago." So I feel like it's something happening in Chicago where everybody's
I
trying
don't
to
think
get
it's
on.
Chicago. I think that it is. Period.
Like, it just
I
stands
think that
out.
is the
Yeah,
that is the
yeah,
thing. I think the new thing and the
Yeah.
new wave is
It's wild.
become social media famous or
Ugh.
become get on a reality show. And I think that is like
Get on
the
these
new wave of
platforms.
like things, and that is the
But honestly,
behavior
they're adjacent
that catches on
because they be putting the people on the shows that have a big following or whatever.
They do.
And like, it's just it's so.
And they want to see how you fight.
weird.
And they always
It's
still have a
weird.
little bit of, like everybody.
Yeah.
That's just what it is. Like you're not gonna make it if you don't have it. You
I
know.
just feel like if I had a kid,
That's my next question.
I would just be so concerned because it's not.
Tati, how do you feel?
Oh, the one person with a kid.
I was gonna ask Tati. I'm
No,
like,
for real, though,
because
because
this
it's like-
is very brand new, right?
is the
Zeus
thing
and
now.
Now TV is like very like controversial. It's extreme
Yeah.
reality TV. It's very physical. It's
It's
very violent.
everywhere.
But the younger kids, her daughter's gonna be in spaces and classes where people are already
Absolute-
watching
that
it.
are watching that.
It's like you ain't see
because the
da- da- da-
demographic
da- da.
is now skewed.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Because like the demographic no longer matters when everybody has access.
Yeah, all you gotta have is like
And it's like-
a card and
And
pay
my
it.
whole thing is because here's the thing:
Mm-hmm.
I've never been a person, and of course, like my opinion barely matters because I don't have any kids. But I always felt like I didn't like parents growing up. I hated parents who were okay with their kids missing out on stuff just
Right.
for the fact fact of like,
Right.
oh, we don't believe in that. They
Yeah,
got to
yeah,
stay in
yeah,
the
yeah,
house.
yeah.
Like, I thought that was so unfair because allow your kids to like use their fucking brain. You put them in school, because if you really was
They
about that
gotta be
shit, get them out of
raised
public
right.
school. Like, if you really that serious about it. But I feel like let them use their own brain and their own sense of self to be like, oh, I like this, I don't like this. And
Right.
then also
Right.
be a good enough parent where they could come to you and you have your hands on it, right? But I don't like that certain parents are okay with letting their kids miss out. But these days,
It's like,
I'm talking about, when I'm thinking about my demographic, I'm thinking like, man, you didn't let your fucking daughter go see you got served. Like, you know what I'm saying? And like, how harmful was that? But nowadays,
the harm is like, do you know how
I
to fight?
know
Because
seventh
they're watching people who fight every day.
Zeus. And there's no storyline. When we used to watch Bad Girls Club or
Right.
Flavor of Love, was that good programming for a kid? No. But there was at least a little something to it. People had
But it's also,
a little bit more of a story about them.
The difference
this
is
literally just, bitch, you was in my DMs. Like, they come right into it.
but
Fight,
you,
fight, fight, fight,
and
fight,
the problem
fight.
is we have access.
sex and drugs.
We had to watch a certain channel to watch it. It
Right.
don't take much to access
yeah,
that.
No, it's nothing. Yeah,
But that's
yeah,
what I'm
yeah.
saying. Like, you can watch it
Yeah.
at school on recess
Yeah,
and be like,
easy.
somebody got a phone. Like, let's watch the
Yeah.
next episode
Zeus.
of.
We watching
Yeah.
You're
Zeus.
watching
I think
Zeus.
When it
scary.
comes to my
Woo.
child, you know, I am still, you know, my daughter is still relatively young. So, like, I am still filling her out
Yeah,
and seeing
yeah.
what kind of, like,
What
person
draws
she
her
is.
in.
Yeah,
for
like,
sure, for
yeah.
sure.
me as a child, I think my parents could kind of see very early on that I always was just like a very strong-minded person. Like, I wasn't. I've never
That's
been very
true.
like easily swayed or like into things that I really shouldn't be into
Right.
or like something like that. And I
For
think
sure.
when you pay attention to your kids, you see that, and it's like it's not a bad thing one way or the other. You know, like if you are a very easily influenced child, that's fine.
Yeah.
But as a parent, maybe that is the child thing that you don't let do shit.
Right.
That's the child
Right.
that the parent does need to kind of be like,
Hold
no,
on.
you can't go
Yeah.
see that.
No.
No, she can't go to that party.
Right.
No, she can't go here because as a parent, you
Yeah.
already know my child is easily influenced.
susceptible.
My child will go with the flow. If they shooting
Right.
over there or somebody want her to go do something
like,
stupid
oh,
over
that's just
there,
my friend live around the corner.
she gonna go over there. If I don't trust that you have that mind, then yeah, I will be the parent that's super strict and super
Yeah.
on you because I'm terrified. I don't know
Yeah.
what the fuck is gonna happen. Like, nope. But if I know, if
I
I'm
know
watching
that wasn't
you,
none of the parents that I like. Them parents was just you didn't even trust to find out. You didn't even trust enough to see your kids. It was always like hyper religious, like, oh, we don't do this, we don't do that.
right
It's
now
just
that's
like,
different. When
but
it's
now-
like we don't do it because
But now
I'm
your daughter's a
saying-
fucking slut because you never let her do anything.
Or
And
they
as
might
soon
be
as
thinking,
she got a
thinking
little,
about it from their perspective, she's a slut because we always knew she would be, and that's why we didn't let her go outside.
Well, yeah,
Like, they
but,
may be
but
thinking,
either,
like,
but
we
either
saw this
way,
coming
like if you would have let
from
them
a mile
just
away.
explore, because I do think that that's important to just let people like see what's in the world. But like that does make a lot of sense.
Because when they're a child, it's like obviously I don't want to hold you back. I want you to have
No, you can't. You
experiences,
can't.
but the things that we could classify as like if I know for a fact my daughter is like showing signs she's promiscuous or like she's
Yeah.
super interested or
Okay.
super interested in like I could just tell like she's boy crazy or she this or she whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like I may become super strict, but as a parent, it's because I'm in my mind, me as a parent, I would be thinking it's because you are still technically a child.
Mm-hmm.
So if I know for a fact, or I think like your kind of personality is a personality that's gonna be very like, let's try it, let's do it, or I want this or I want that. As a parent, you would stop your 13-year-old or your 14-year-old and think to yourself like you're too young for this or like this is a lot for this age. But
Yeah.
once you're
As long as you're
17,
as long as you're talking to
18,
them.
once
Like,
you're
it can't just
17,
be
18,
like, no, you can't. You know, like as long as you're talking to them, then yes, yeah.
I mean, it just depends on what like that parent thinks
I mean, it
is
just
for. If you feel like I don't think it doesn't necessarily benefit your child. Parents do have to work on trying to find ways to articulate.
You have to, because if you don't
Their
give them a reason
thoughts.
why, they're just gonna be like, "Well, I'm gonna
Right.
figure it out." Like
you
if you're
have
not
to
telling
find
me
a
why
way
not.
to articulate your thoughts.
Yeah,
But
you
I
have to say,
think
I don't want you to do that.
Parents
'cause this.
definitely will get caught up in being like, I don't need to explain
When that's
why
bad.
I don't want my 12-year-old daughter
But you do to her. You don't have
getting
to us.
trains ran on her
You
or
don't have
something.
to us.
You know,
Yeah, but you have
right?
to her.
But because
Yeah.
probably in their mind it's so self-explanatory, it's
Yeah.
like, you know, like they lose the whole
But not to the
concept
12-year-old.
of like,
She doesn't know what's going on.
yeah,
Like you have to say, like, hey, this thing that you're doing is leading here because I've been there and I know that. And this is the actual thing that is leading towards, and you shouldn't do that. But that's why I'm so curious about not even like sex. I mean, obviously that's where all that stuff leads to, but like the perception of love and dating right now, because I don't know that there's like a demographic or an age limit on this content that we all have access to. And I just be looking at it as an adult. I just be looking like, okay. So,
I mean, my daughter thinks everything is a TikTok. So relationships, anything, her view of it is that snapshot. So to her, a boyfriend and a girlfriend is they do dances together. They make TikToks together. Boyfriend and girlfriends, they go to whatever can be captured in a TikTok or whatever is a fad at that moment.
Yeah.
That to her is like what that is. That is what that means if you love somebody or if you're in a relationship or whatever. So I definitely do have to monitor her internet intake because
and also like pay attention to what people are showing her when you're not around, because it's so accessible. It's so different. Like Michael said, like we had to literally sit down and be like, it's 7 o'clock on
Exactly.
E or it's 7 o'clock on Oxygen. We finna watch Bad Girls Club.
Right.
It's 8 o'clock on VH1. We finna watch
Right.
Flavor of Love. Like that was the only
Nothing
allotted
else.
space and time to see a certain amount of content. Whereas now the kids are just like, hey girl,
I got my auntie
my
subscription
mama
to Zeus.
my mama's password was still logged in. So
The app is on
here
my
we
phone.
go.
I got an Apple phone.
Here we go. And so and my whole thing is not an issue with that, because I feel like that's just being a kid, right? Like
For
whatever
sure.
you don't have access to readily
Right.
and you know exists, any kid is gonna be like, how do I figure that out? You know? And there's nothing wrong with that. I just think that what is it that they're taking away from it once they see it?
Absolutely.
I
Like,
just
are they walking away from looking at Never Ever Mets feeling like it's not a good which I was proud of the Never Ever Mets for being like, hey, you put your hands on somebody, you gotta go.
You gotta go.
Because I was worried about that at first.
That's what I wanted Tati to see.
And let me just say too, on a marketing perspective, I understand marketing, but I didn't like the salaciousness of the marketing from the first episode to the next, even showing that they were a part of the next episode.
Right.
Because it felt like they wanted us to see like,
They
oh,
do.
they still
No,
there.
that was the production part. They
like,
want you to.
they still there.
That means they want you
and
to
it
stay
makes you
tuned.
want to like see the story, and it's just like I don't want to see nothing but them no longer being allowed. Not even them.
Right.
Him. Like I don't want to see anything but a
Well, she has
very
no purpose
clear-
now.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
You don't need to be there. This is about couples.
Right.
If he gone, you gone. But like I wanted to see a very clear messaging of like, hey, we don't tolerate that. You don't put your fucking hands on nobody. That's all I wanted to see. I wanted to see that at the end of the first
you got
episode.
something to say?
I wanted them to make that clear at the end of the first episode. The disclaimer that they put at the second episode, oh, if you or someone that you love is a victim of domestic do that every time that it comes up. Don't leave that out for the fucking sake of
It should have been
marketing.
in the end of the first episode. Too.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it should have been like us here at OWN, we don't tolerate that shit. Tune
And I
in.
think that it is important for reality TV to push that narrative regardless to if the aggressor is male or female.
Yeah,
Because I had a huge issue. This was some years ago, maybe like 3 or 4 years ago on that marriage boot camp show that's on when
Yeah, I know what you're talking
Tahiri
about.
was on there with the rapper Vado. They were in a relationship and
That's
they were on
crazy.
that show, and they were beefing the whole time or whatever. Weird couple. I don't know what their issue was,
It was
but
probably TV.
nevertheless, she got so pissed at him at one point that she literally picked apples up off the table and threw them with all her might into his face. So one apple smacks him in the face. The next apple smacks him in the face. Like hard as hell, all her might. Nothing happened.
That's
Everything went like regular.
Yeah, nobody's
Later-
saying that that's okay.
Later, when like she was like talking shit and kind of like belittling him or whatever, and he got pissed, like he had like jumped up and was like, "You really fucking playing with me out here?" Like, and he like hemmed her up. He got like kicked off the show because they was like, "Whoa," that's when security ran out, and that was when
Yeah.
all of this. And I'm
Yeah.
like, by no way saying that his behavior was
No.
okay, but I'm like, when it comes to reality TV, I'm like, you watch these situations escalate because I'm like, you watched her
And that's what all genders.
abuse him,
The
like
women,
you watched her.
the women's actions are like
Yeah,
more for
like
television.
we don't. Yeah, like you didn't do anything.
Yeah, it's
there was
like,
no.
he
there
can
was,
survive that.
Nobody even checked on him.
Right.
There was
Yeah.
no. Are you okay, nigga?
Yeah.
This bitch just clocked you twice. Like there was nothing.
Oh, he got
and
it.
then it was like when he erupted,
Right. Oh.
which is wrong, but it's
Yeah.
like, where was y'all? I was getting my ass beat.
Right.
And nobody said a word,
Cared.
and it's like,
Yeah.
what kind of message were you, like, are y'all really trying to send? It's like these reality shows.
To the kids.
You
No,
are
I'm just
only concerned about what you think will make you look bad. You're not concerned about the actual behavior, because
Which
if
is my
abuse was a
main
problem,
point of
Yeah.
all of this,
Abuse,
which is
period,
just-
should be
'cause I
accounted
honestly,
for.
Like, and honestly, I've been drinking, so I'm not gonna even take it where I was thinking about earlier because I don't want to sound belligerent. But I do believe that everything that we are consuming is a distraction to something bigger and worse.
Okay.
And it just makes me really fucking uncomfortable. Like, it makes me
course.
so uncomfortable. Not only like once you clock into the fact that like if you just tune into the idea, whether you believe it or not, if you just say to yourself like, okay, let's just say that everything that is consumed to us is a distraction. The things that they choose and the things that are working. Because we don't just see something one time. If we just saw it once and then never again, that would be proof like, oh, they tried that out and it didn't work. We
Right.
see the same things over and over again because it's working. You know what I'm saying? It literally does have us distracted.
People
and it
like
has
want to
us,
see it.
and it has us tuning into that more than the literally much more terrible shit that's going on in the world and in our country. Literally, a potential president just got convicted of 34 fucking
34 counts.
felonies, and not any of them mean that he can no longer be our president. But we know so many black people that are convicted of one or less and can't even vote.
Oh.
But we're not supposed to be talking about that.
That's
We're supposed
crazy.
to be sitting here being like, never have mess is fucking crazy. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
I don't
hell
be trying
yeah.
to be so on my soapbox, but like that's
But
what
people
I'm
gotta
talking
hear
about.
that, though. They gotta hear
They want
that.
us to be paying attention to that shit, and they are meticulous about it, intentional. They have to be, because if they weren't, it would just be trial and error. We would just like, if I was just fixated on my TV all the time, we would see so many things that don't work, that never show up again. But we're seeing the same thing over and over again because it's continuously getting our eyes and getting our attention and getting our debates.
Right.
People are making fucking podcasts every fucking day talking about this shit. Talking about, even if it's not in the context of Never Ever Mets, talking about, oh, would you rather fucking be stuck in a fucking wilderness with a bear or a man? That went on for weeks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, we got the fucking
Children
IOF
started.
telling us that this is a safe space here in Rafah for people to have refuge, and they still bomb it in front of our fucking face. It's not the fucking 90s no more. It's not the early 2000s where you got to go digging for some shit to go figure out what the fuck is going on in Afghanistan or anywhere else. We're seeing it.
Right.
But the conversation is, these niggas want to tell on. What?
These
Which I'm not
podcasts
100%
losing it.
against, I will say. Like, I'm not against, like, I'm not against entertainment for the sake of entertainment. I'm not against,
But
like,
it's the entertainment
just,
that's the chosen.
you know, like, talking to
not Sex and the City.
talk or wanting to just, you know, speak on what the current topic. Like, I'm not, like, 100%, like, against that. I feel like it's just the lack of duality. It's just the lack of access to other things and the fact that this is all we get. But also, black people, you know, we just want some money. You know, like, we want some money so bad
Why is that?
we will, because that's the
why
way
is that?
we were programmed.
Yeah,
we
for sure.
We
No,
went
that was a
without-
rhetorical
Not because
question.
We
programmed,
went
it's 'cause we're fucking
without,
old.
and
not
we
a
went
programming.
without for so long.
They've wanted money
that
for so
the
long,
mentality is literally just about having money and being better than your mama or your daddy that's still struggling. You know, it's like people are just like, this is what's selling. So at the end of the day, just like, what's that dude I cannot stand? Charleston White. That guy drives me nuts. But apparently, like my guy was telling me that, like, he had mentioned one time, like in an interview, like, when I used to talk better, basically, or like talk or like make more sense, or I was more mature or whatever, I wasn't getting anywhere. You know,
That's
like,
the
I
whole
wasn't getting
plot of
any
American
traction
Fiction.
financially. But now that I'm a fucking asshole, now that I'm fucking
That's more
controversial,
marketable.
Right.
I'm making bread. Now I'm everywhere.
Right.
You know, and so it's like, I feel like
Oh no.
Also, I
Just give us a
go
second.
ahead. No, I don't.
Just
I don't.
kidding.
I don't want to start talking while you're coughing because I don't want to cut you off.
No, but so many people, I feel like, just fall prey to that
Yeah.
notion, and that makes them think it's okay because they're like, well, you didn't like it when I was positive.
True.
So it's
But I
okay for me to be
but
negative.
I also
America
don't want to
hates
put
that.
that just on black people though, because black people are not at the helm of this ship. Like,
The nation hates when you're
there's
so
a
positive.
whole industry that we are not at the top of that decides what sells and what doesn't. And so I'm not mad at anybody who does, you know, whatever it is to get them, but I'm mad at the powers that be that tell us what's popular and what isn't. And they choose it because there are so many things that are cool and good and interesting that we don't see enough of, because that's not what's going to catch us that's not what's going to catch and hold our attention for a long amount of time. And what they need is for our attention to be held for a long amount of time.
Especially
so that they
us.
can do the shit that they've been doing. If it was just regular, like, oh, this is interesting, we talk about it and then we let it go, we would have much more space and time to look around us and be like, shit not right. They don't need that from us. They need all the things to just keep us.
Yeah, you're
And
right.
I think that it's disgusting.
Right.
And while we're on that note, before we wrap up, I know how overwhelming it feels to just look around. And I don't know how, I haven't been doing a lot of social media aside from TikTok. I don't consider TikTok social media. But I got off Twitter and Instagram, so I don't know what's going on over there. But I just want to say to anybody who might be like me, I know how uncomfortable it can be to just feel overwhelmed and bombarded with a lot of news that you feel like you can't do anything about. I need you to know that you can do something about it. You don't have to be an expert. I'm not asking you to go and study political fucking science. Like, just look at your local, the local elections and see who's running, and just do a quick rundown and just go for the people that match your values. And really genuinely vote from that space, because we really need to get more involved in these local elections, because we're going to continue to look up and not have any control or anybody in power that represents what we're doing. But we're not going to have any space to complain if we never fucking vote or we never do anything else. Right. So please make sure that you're doing your due diligence, even if you're just doing a once over. Get on TikTok. Type in politics, type in your city. People are there who are doing the work. I genuinely go from my intuition. I listen to people who are more well-versed than me, because I don't know shit about politics. Luckily, my man does. He's really, really passionate about that. But when people talk to me, because he says stuff that I don't even agree with, but I go and I listen to other people, and my spirit tells me, and that's all it is. Honestly, that's what voting, that's what a democracy is supposed to be.
Right.
It's supposed to be you being like, hey, this person aligns with my values the most, and you vote for that person. And if more of us did that, I genuinely think that it would be a better place. I think that they have continued to let a lot of propaganda spill out for black people in particular to continue to roam this earth feeling like, oh, it's not going to matter and our vote doesn't matter. And da-da-da. That's what the fuck they want us to believe, because if we don't participate, then we don't participate.
We keep losing.
If we don't participate, then we don't participate. And we will never see somebody in office, local or otherwise, that reflects our values. So if you have a fucking issue with babies, kids who don't even get to the point of recognizing their own fucking names, dying, if you have an issue with that and anything else, please look into your local elections and look into the people that are fighting against that, because that is an active thing that is happening right now. And the people that are not voting yes to the things that are in alignment with that, you need to be voting in their favor so that we can get people on our side and in office that reflect the things that we want.
Absolutely.
So, that is that. Thanks so much for listening.
Right.
Thank you so much for coming for another episode of Away with Words the Podcast. Please make sure that you're following us everywhere that we can be followed at Away with Words the Podcast at TikTok and on Instagram. You can follow me there at Bree.stories and at Bree_stories on Twitter. And you can follow at A_Tati and at Hey Tati on Tati on Instagram and at Hey Tati on Twitter. And please make sure that you're following at MGM Kid and at moments_stew.
Hey, y'all.
because
Happy
you just
June.
should. Happy June, y'all. We're in June. We're in June now.
June.
It's summertime.
Summertime.
Exactly. We'll talk to y'all later. We love you so much. Everybody say bye.
Bye.